Yeah, I mean, at Southern Miss, I thought the game was, I don't know, kind of sloppy from both ends, offensively and defensively. Started really, really slow. And then at the end of the game, fourth quarter, we kind of got going. But, we had a couple of kids out. And then we go to Monroe and, you start adding those players. And we were able to kind of change up some lineups and stuff. And we played really good offensively. And it's probably the first game that we play offensively and defensively that good. Combination. So, good game. I thought we out-rebounded them. We did a lot. I mean, I think the first half we kept them to 0 offensive rebounds, and that's a big thing for us. If we can keep people off the boards, second chance points are big for us for, not allowing them. So I thought we played well, and hopefully we can build on it, I thought Jalen James came in, a little banged up and played still really well. So, hopefully we can kind of continue getting her going. And different lineups. I thought when we went into the third quarter, I thought us building the lead, we went actually with the 2-point guards. And to me, it's just like the offense looked so smooth and the defense was really good. So hopefully, we need to build on that and get on the road. Marshall's going to be a tough situation. I know they lost to JMU, and we're looking at what JMU did to them. They kind of ran them off the 3-point line. So, but you still got to handle their press. So it'll be a tough one, but and a tough road trip, but it's part of it. Hopefully that'll be the toughest one, and we get that out the way, and then we'll only have one more road trip after that.
What kind of challenge does it create having people, in and out of the lineup and coming up with the lineup, like you said, that looked like it was doing what you wanted to do on Saturday?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a challenge, but I think the 12 years I've been here, and even the 5 years at McNeese, we always seem to fight it. There's no guarantee. Like you'll walk into practice and they'll say, they're out or whatever. It's just tough, man. It's just this year. I mean, that 1 week we had 12 kids out, and that was kind of, so it's tough, but it's fun to see when they do come back how good we really can be. Now, I mean, and I know Kevin talks about it all the time. The chemistry's got to be big too. So we're still trying to create that, and we're almost done the conference, It looked like we had some, a little bit more chemistry on Saturday. Can we continue to build it into the tournament? And that's my goal is like, hey, can we continue to stay healthy and build it into the tournament?
Coach, how much does the routine change playing at 10 a.m. on a Wednesday on the road?
I mean, it's just like I voted against that to have an education game during conference. Conference is too important. I understand nobody wants to promote women's basketball more than I do. And we voted 7-6 not to do it during conference because I think it's a distinct advantage because you can't have a shoot around. In some places like here, when you come here, you might not even be able to get to practice in the dome the day before. That's a distinct advantage. I don't like it at all because you can't. I mean, I don't know how we're gonna go, and we're probably not gonna even be able to get in their arena the day before. It's gonna be a practice facility. So the next morning you get up. You're going to go play without shooting in their facility. Conference is too important. And then they're going to probably have 7,000, 8,000 kids, That's an advantage too. It's loud. But according to our people, we're promoting women's basketball. Do it before conference because conference to me is, it's competitive and you want to win those games. You want to have an opportunity to win those games. I remember UTA used to do them, and man, we just couldn't win them. We couldn't win there. In those games, they had 9,000 kids screaming, and it was difficult to coach, and it was difficult for the kids to play, players to play. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to you just go play it, and I don't like just playing.
So y'all voted against it, but they're doing it?
Yeah. What ended up happening, we had 14 teams. It was 7-6, and the coach from ODU was not there. So it was 7-6, and then for some reason the SWAs didn't like what we voted. And so they called the ODU coach the next day, and she voted for it. So it was a tie. And so the SWAs decided that it should be something to have. And it's like, I'm competitive, man. I want the advantage, not the disadvantage. Like, it's a big disadvantage, in my opinion, but nobody was listening.
So I remember before y'all were going on that 4-game stretch that started with ODU and James Madison. I don't remember who y'all played, but it wasn't a great performance. And man, this road trip's going to be intimidating. Y'all went over there and played great. And then after Thursday's game, I'm like, man, look at these next 3 or 4 games you got. This doesn't look good. And then y'all play y'all best game of the year. Like, who is behind, obviously the coaching staff, but player wise, who's behind keeping y'all up to be able to not get down after bad performance?
You know, I think it's
Which is intimidating word.
I don't think it's the one person. I think it's just them wanting to play together. And we talk about it all the time. It's like that's number one thing. Can we continue to play together? Can we get better at what we're doing? And I think it's just a group of kids, the top 10 kids that really, really want to win, you know. I mean, you could tell before the game. You know, a lot of times we go into the game, I go into the game feeling really good about us being prepared and stuff. Never going into the game that, man, we don't have a chance to win in none of the conference games. You know, no matter who it is, even Marshall, you know, I mean, it's going to be a tough matchup and all that. But, man, I feel really good about that. We can do some things to, you know, we're really good defensively when we got everybody. You know, I know the comment earlier on was, we're not going to be, we had to make those changes. Once we made the changes, we're pretty dang good defensively. So hopefully we can continue to grow offensively and, you know, as we go through the season. But, yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of the road games, it looked like it could be tough, you know. But, you know, it's just like going into this one, man, I'd love to have a break after the conference, the Marshall game. But then, you know, you're going to go play that MAC challenge. It's like, you know, I don't know. You know, it might get a chance for me to play some kids that haven't played, you know, because I don't want to get anybody hurt in a non-conference game right toward the end of the conference, you know, so.
So what does it look like for Wednesday's game in terms of availability, like, you know, I and Jalen and the ones who have been out?
Everybody's going to be in. Everybody will be able to play. And I don't think there'll be no limited minutes. And I haven't seen Jay yet today, but, man, she looked good after. I talked to her after the game and all that. And so I haven't seen her since Saturday, but I think everybody's going to – I don't think there's going to be no limited minutes. A lot of times, like Jay was limited on minutes on Saturday, so I don't think she'll have any limited minutes. And I think D. Rice's doesn't have any limited minutes. And, you know, and down in Iowa, we had to kind of get her from over here on Friday to get her to Monroe. She didn't come with us to Southern Miss because of the concussion protocol. Well, she did it Friday, and then she was able to – we transported her up on Friday so she could play Saturday. And so she didn't really – she practiced Friday. That was our first practice since, I guess, a week and a half, you know.
Coach, so shuffling in those, you know, all year long, you haven't dealt with those injuries, whatever. Is there an advantage to having maybe them come back now with this last stretch run of the regular season? Is there maybe – little fresh legs, maybe kind of, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe so. You know, I didn't even think about that, you know, but it could be, you know. I think they just fall behind, especially if they're young and they're new to the program. If they're not in practice, not so much the game, but if they're not in practice, I think, you know, like the trapping we do and the hedging we do, and you can talk about it and show it on film all you want. If you don't work on it, it's difficult. So that's kind of the thing that gets me. But you're right. I mean, we looked really fresh on, but again, we're not playing just 6 or 8 people. We were playing 11 kids, I think. I don't remember how many kids we really played, but, you know, that rotating them in and out keeps them fresh too. But yeah, I would think like for like D. Rice, you know, as limited as she's played, her legs probably feeling better and stuff like that too.
The MAC challenge, is this a 1-year deal, 2-year deal?
2-year deal, yeah. And not everybody's doing it. You know, like Marshall will play us and they're going to get a break. And then I think it's Coastal Carolina. They're not doing. They only have 12 teams, so 2 teams got off. You know, and I mean, I wish I'd have been one of those.
Well, I was asking, next year, will you play your away game in November and then play at home? It's supposed to.
Yeah, it's supposed to swap, and that's going to be tough on the men, man, to be able to do that, get on the road. But, you know, and I think the main reason why we did this challenge is because of the men, because I don't think it's going to help anybody else in our conference on the women's side net. I just don't see, and that was the main reason why you do it. You want to try to play the higher seeded team or the better team, so not RPI, but net comes up. And I looked at it and I'm like, I know it's not going to help us for it to I mean, there's nobody under 100 in our conference right now. And I mean, if you're not 40, you're not getting in at large bid.
Now, who are the two teams that don't have to do it?
It's Marshall and Coastal. And the reason why Marshall's in that area, so they played some of those teams already. They scheduled them. And then Coastal, I don't know how they got out. Oh, he didn't have, their schedule was full, so he didn't have any room. So.
What did Southern Miss do to y'all defensively that Monroe did?
I think their defense is similar in a way that they pressure the ball and they contain the ball. Southern Miss was more about help. Like they always had somebody in help, and so they helped better. There was less back cuts and all that. Where Monroe they guarded the ball pretty good, but there wasn't a lot of help. So we had a lot of back cuts and we had a lot of lane line drives and stuff like that. Where that's where we predicate our defense is so good because we're going to be in help and we're going to rotate down and we're going to do all those things, even though we do all right job of guarding the ball. And I think that was the biggest difference, yeah.